Halfway between Pooh's house and Piglet's house was a thoughtful spot where they met sometimes when they had decided to go and see each other. And as it was warm and out of the wind, they would sit down there for a little and wonder what they would do now that they had seen each other. One day when they had decided not to do anything, Pooh made up a verse about it so that everybody should know what the place was for. This warm and sunny spot belongs to Pooh, and here he wonders what he's going to do. Oh, by the way, I forgot, it's Piglet's too. Now one autumn morning when the wind had blown all the leaves off the trees in the night and was trying to blow the branches off, Piglet and Pooh were sitting in the thoughtful spot and wondering. "What I think," said Pooh, "is I think we'll go to Pooh Corner and see Eeyore, because perhaps his house has been blown down and perhaps he'd like us to build it again." "What I think," said Piglet, "is I think we'll go and see Christopher Robin, only he won't be there, so we can't." "Let's go and see everybody," said Pooh, "because when you've been walking in the wind for miles and you suddenly go into somebody's house and he says, 'Hello, Pooh, you're just in time for a little smackerel of something,' and you are, then it's what I call a friendly day." Piglet thought that they ought to have a reason for going to see everybody, like looking for Small or organising an expedition, if Pooh could think of something. Pooh could. "We'll go because it's Thursday," he said, "and we'll go to wish everybody a very happy Thursday. Come on, Piglet." They got up, and when Piglet had sat down again because he didn't know the wind was so strong, and had been helped up by Pooh, they started off. They went to Pooh's house first, and luckily Pooh was at home, just as they got there. So he asked them in, and they had some, and then they went on to Kanga's house, holding on to each other, and shouting, "Isn't it?" and "What?" and "I can't hear." By the time they got to Kanga's house they were so buffeted that they stayed to lunch. Just at first it seemed rather cold outside afterwards, so they pushed on to Rabbit's as quickly as they could. "We've come to wish you a very happy Thursday," said Pooh, when he had gone in and out once or twice just to make sure that he could get out again. "Why, what's going to happen on Thursday?" asked Rabbit. And when Pooh had explained, and Rabbit, whose life was made up of important things, said, "Oh, I thought you'd really come about something," they sat down for a little, and by Pooh and Piglet went on again. The wind was behind them now, so they didn't have to shout. "Rabbit's clever," said Pooh thoughtfully. "Yes," said Piglet, "Rabbit's clever." "And he has brain." "Yes," said Piglet, "Rabbit has brain." There was a long silence. "I suppose," said Pooh, "that's why he never understands anything." Christopher Robin was at home by this time because it was the afternoon, and he was so glad to see them that they stayed there until very nearly tea time, and then they had a very nearly tea, which is one you forget about afterwards, and hurried on to Pooh Corner so as to see Eeyore before it was too late to have a proper tea with Owl. "Hello, Eeyore," they called out cheerfully. "Ah," said Eeyore, "lost your way." "We just came to see you," said Piglet, "and to see how your house was. Look, Pooh, it's still standing." "I know," said Eeyore, "very odd. Somebody ought to have come down and pushed it over." "We wondered whether the wind would blow it down," said Pooh. "Ah, that's why nobody's bothered, I suppose. I thought perhaps they'd forgotten." "Well, we're very glad to see you, Eeyore, and now we're going on to see Owl." "That's right. You'll like Owl. He flew past a day or two ago and noticed me. He didn't actually say anything, mind you, but he knew it was me. Very friendly of him, I thought. encouraging. Pooh and Piglet shuffled about a little and said, "Well, goodbye, Eeyore," as lingeringly as they could. But they had a long way to go and wanted to be getting on. "Goodbye," said Eeyore. "Mind you don't get blown away, little Piglet. You'd be missed. People would say, 'Where's little Piglet been blown to?' really wanting to know. Well, goodbye, and thank you for happening to pass me." "Goodbye," said Pooh and Piglet for the last time, and they pushed on to Owl's house. The wind was against them now, and Piglet's ears streamed behind him like banners. So he fought his way along, and it seemed hours before he got them into the shelter of the 100-acre wood, and they stood up straight again to listen a little nervously to the roaring of the gale among the treetops. "Supposing a tree fell down, Pooh, when we're underneath it?" "Supposing it didn't," said Pooh after careful thought. Piglet was comforted by this, and in a little while they were knocking and ringing very cheerfully at Owl's door.